So what are the implications of writing up an offer on a home without conditions? We're going to be going over why the property matters when putting in an offer without conditions. So if you're currently out shopping for a home, definitely don't want to miss this video. Welcome back, it's Tom here from Moffat Mortgages. Thank you for tuning in for today's video. Always appreciate having you guys here, and as always, please feel free to hit the like button down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, that way you don't miss videos like this in the future. So when it comes to a full pre-approval given to you by either your mortgage broker or the bank, well, hopefully the bank is doing a full pre-approval. If you've watched my other videos, we all know that most of them don't, but hey, let's just say they do for this video. So when it comes to a full pre-approval, that person is either or is going to be checking your credit, your income, and your down payment. The fourth ingredient to the lender qualification, as I mentioned, is the property itself. So when it comes to your full pre-approval, you're pre-qualified on 3 of those 4 ingredients. So of course, we can't pre-approve you on the property because you haven't found that property yet. That's of course an approval. We're not talking about a full approval, we're talking about a pre-approval. So hopefully when you're out shopping for a home, you are pre-approved before doing so. You always want to know how much you can afford before putting an offer in on a home, especially with buyers today going in without conditions. You definitely want to know that you can afford that home. However, speaking of conditions, if you are going in condition-free, this is what you need to know in terms of the risk going in without conditions and what it might mean when that time comes, if it comes. So just know that, like I mentioned, those 4 ingredients to a qualification, your income, credit, down payment, and the property itself, you are pre-approved on 3 out of 4. The 4th ingredient, the property itself, you're not pre-approved on. So if you come back to me as a mortgage broker, or you go back to your bank with the property that you found, you put an offer in, and that property itself doesn't qualify for the lender, there's many different things that the lender looks for when it comes to the property itself, but let's just use one example. Let's say you came back with a home that was originally a student rental. You may not get qualified on that purchase. So in that scenario, if you put in an offer without conditions and you came back and you said, hey Tom, here's my property, I got my offer accepted, let's get that full approval. Well, you're gonna have a tough time getting approved with the lender that wants to take on that home. Now this video isn't here to scare you or tell you to go in without conditions, because out of all people, I understand that going in without conditions is how you get a home today in this market, unfortunately. However, I do want to tell you the repercussions of if and when that does happen. So instead of scaring you into telling you what might happen if you don't get the financing, let's actually go back and talk about how to prevent that from happening. So like I mentioned, I'm not saying don't go in without conditions. I understand it's kind of needed in today's market. However, what I do for my clients and what some other mortgage brokers do is if you have an MLS listing from your realtor that can send it to me as a mortgage broker, that is always preferred because I can always vet the property before you put in an offer on that property. So you want to make sure that the lenders are going to approve on that. There's nothing funky going on there in the MLS listing, and that I can basically say, hey, you know what? That property looks okay. I don't see any issues going forward with getting lending. The reason why lenders may be somewhat picky in terms of picking the properties they approve on is because they want to make sure that they can sell off that property in the rare occasion that the borrower defaults on their mortgage. So let's say you, the borrower, you get your mortgage on the property and you end up defaulting for whatever reason, you missed your payments, default on the mortgage, and the bank has to take over that property. They want to make sure it's prime and marketable in order to sell off that property to get back the money that they've invested in you. So that's basically why the property itself matters when it comes to putting in no conditions with your offer. Now this really does come back to getting that pre-approval done properly in the first place. You want to make sure that that pre-approval is solid, so you're covering the other 3 ingredients of the 4 that the lender likes to see. So again, you want to make sure your credit, your income, and your down payment are rock solid, meaning that you want to see someone that knows what they're doing and they're actually checking your credit, checking your documents, going over everything, and making sure you, the borrower, is qualified going forward. Now, for the 4th ingredient, like I mentioned, you want to make sure that whoever you're working with can review the MLS and give you their general opinion as to whether there's going to be issues going forward or not. Now, if you do those 2 points that I mentioned, you will have a higher likelihood of obtaining financing. Now, that's not to say that it's going to erase all risk associated with going in without conditions. However, I do want to just mention, if you are going in with no conditions, please follow those 2 steps I mentioned, as well as work with a qualified real estate agent. You want to work with someone that is going to be able to guide you through the process, and they know what they're doing in terms of what you should be putting in for your offers, making sure that you're not putting in your offer too high, because that can create a whole nother situation that is for another video topic in the future. Just follow those 2 points, work with the qualified real estate agent, and you should have no problems. Okay, so I hope that helped you guys. Good luck with your home purchasing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.